Hey, yo, it's your boy Jonathan, and this is Times with Dad. And in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about the time I went in pursuit of my dream, moving 1,100 miles away down to Atlanta, Georgia, hoping that it would all work out. No savings, no plans, just faith. And I thought it would until it didn't. It almost left me defeated, quitting on that dream. Almost ended up having to live in my car, end up living in an extended stay where I had to build my life over from scratch.
Can you say times with dad?
Times dad. So what since this podcast started?
Chasing a dream. That's what I was doing. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy. But I felt the dream was worth it. I felt it'll bring me happiness. I felt that it's what I should be doing. I wasn't looking to chase a job. I was chasing a career. And that career led me to the South. But how I got there wasn't really how I expected. So I lived in Florida at one point in my life. Graduated high school. 2 weeks later, I'm out in Florida and living with my girlfriend at the time. And I did that for about a half a year. And I said, for me to really get the life I probably want, I should move back, get a degree, and then make life decisions from there. So that's what I did. When I was wrapping up my degree, I bumped into an old friend who was saying that he was looking to move to LA. And I was like, whoa, I'm looking to go to LA. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna know someone out there. And we were set on that until we bumped into a friend of his who was saying that he was just really getting ready to move to Atlanta. And I was like, Atlanta's cool, but I really want to go to LA. I want to pursue film. Film is obviously big in Hollywood, which is in California. So I got to go out there. And he said, I think you should go to Atlanta because it's cheaper. You get some cool spots. And, they got Black Hollywood out there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what? It is a big film thing out there, too, So let's go out there. And still wasn't sure about it. But I was like, let's do it. What kind of set me on it is when he said, look, man, I got a 2-bed, 2-bath. I said, whoa, 2-bath. I don't know any places in Rhode Island that got 2-bath apartments. Like you get in a 3-bedroom with a single bath. And he's like, nah, 2-bed, 2-bath out there. And I was like, all right, well, how much? So I'm thinking it's going to be, pretty expensive. He's like $600 a month. I'm like, say what? $600? He's like, yeah. All right, man, I gotta head out there. So I said, I'm gonna go when I get my money up. It's gonna take me a little while. I might need about a year. And my roommate, who was going to be my roommate, said, what if I was your roommate? I was like, well, I can do that. I can do that a lot sooner, actually. Still going to need a little bit of time. Now, we're having this conversation in November. And he said, all right, February 6th is the day. I was like, February 6th? He's like, yeah, you got something to do? I was like, nah, February 6th is. Now, granted, I wish I was the 7th because the Patriots were playing the Super Bowl, but we didn't know that then. So anyway, we was already committed. I'm a man of my word. I'm going out there February 6th. So I go and tell my mom, like, look, I've been trying to get a job here. And I told you, if I didn't get a job here in a year, then I was going to have to look elsewhere. She's like, give it more time, give it more time. I'm like, no, I gave it all the time. I gave it a year deadline. Now I got to go down south and see if I can do something out there. And she's like, okay, I don't agree with it, but you're an adult. You do what's best for you. And I felt that was best for me. And it's funny because all I went out there, man, was just on pure faith because I didn't have any savings. I didn't plan on even saving. That's a crazy thing thinking about it now. Like I didn't even plan to save for the move. And I said, well, I'm getting my income tax. Whatever I get is going to be enough. And I'm going to go out there. And so like I'm income tax. If I'm not mistaken, it was like just over $2,000. I was like, yeah, that's enough. That's enough money to do what I got to do. $600 a month for the rent. My portion's $300. I'm good. I mean, I got like good amount of time. Now, granted, I didn't have anything, right? Whatever fit in my Impala, that's what I was gonna live off of. My older sister was a little ahead of me. She gifted me some silverware and some some plateware, if that's even the right term, and I put it in a car. Right, I think she gave that to me like the night before when I was packing everything in the car, which was funny. The first two things I packed in that car was a TV, flat screen that I had bought, which I still have actually today, and my iMac. So that's all I really need besides my camera equipment. And everything else I just packed around it. And before I left, one thing I did is I went to go see Thunder, who we weren't dating at the time, but, was messing around with each other. And she gave me a little care package, which was like tons of like drinks and energy drinks, which I don't even drink those, but, figured I would need it if I'm going to be driving like 17 straight hours. Candy, chips, right? It was like super thoughtful. And then a song she dedicated to me. And I was like, okay. It was nice knowing you. Probably never gonna see you again. But I'm going out there to chase my dream. And so I took the income tax. My boy Greg actually said he was coming down with us. He was going to fly back. He was just going to come with the ride, which is pretty dope. And we was headed off, But I felt good about it. Like I felt like I'm doing the right thing. And didn't feel like I was making a big move for myself, right? But what I at least knew going into it, slightly because of how things were when I was in Florida for that half a year, was that it was going to be hard. I knew the first year was going to be the toughest year. At least that's what I thought. So I said, we're going to have to survive this first year. So we get down there. Now, mind you, I've never seen the apartment. My roommate found it and he showed me a couple of photos of it. And I said, yeah, it looks good. It looks good, right? I trust you. I trust that this is a nice place. And so we drive. We didn't really stop. We just, taking turns on who was behind the wheel. We took two cars and we get there. We're all excited, 17 straight hours, exhausted. And we pull up to the apartment complex and they're not open yet because we got there a little early. So we wait about an hour. At least we go check out our friend who was already living at this complex. I was like, hey, we here. His roommate at the time was like, wow, they really came. I didn't believe it was actually going to come. He thought, it was just like a little folk tale that we was going to be going. And then we go up to the apartment complex and I'm thinking like, everything is all set, right? Like only thing I think I need to do is just cut a check, which I wasn't even expecting to pay a deposit. I was expecting to just pay the first month's rent and that was it. Just so clueless that I need to pay a deposit, but even more clueless that the South don't really play, right? So you pay a deposit, an administrative fee, an application fee, maybe some other fee, and then you pay your, first month's rent in addition to that, and then you're in. So right off a rent, man, I think my like 2,000 was cut to 1,000. Still wasn't sweating it. Still, I'm good, right? And I probably should have sweated when the apartment complex looked at me and said, I didn't even expect y'all to come today. Like, I didn't even know y'all was going to be here. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought this was all coordinated, right? Like, you should know, like, we should have our place. And it said, no, we got a place for you. We got an apartment. Can you come back though? Like, what you mean? Can we come back? So yeah. Can y'all come back like tomorrow? It's like, nah. I ain't got nowhere to be tonight. And my first night ain't gonna be in my car. It's stuffed with things. And it's 4 of us, right? There's me, my roommate, Greg, and I think there was someone else. There was someone else. I'm tripping. We dropped them off on the route. He was heading to DC. So it's really three of us. And it was like, okay, fine. We'll have you in, but at least got to be at the end of the workday. I was like, okay, well, can we at least go in the place? Like, can I at least see the place? And it was like, oh yeah, for sure. No problem. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Kept saying it over and over. You're going to love it. You're going to be like, man, I'm so glad I moved here. And I'm saying to myself, well, it don't really matter because I'm already here. So I'm moving in here no matter what. And I won't forget it. We open up the door and there's a maintenance man working in the place. And I'm not thinking much at first until I look and I'm like, why is there an entire exterior wall missing? Like outside is inside. Like it's just, isn't that supposed to be there? And he's like, well, you guys are just touring the place. It's like, no, I'm moving in. He's like, you moving in here? When? I'm like, today. He's like, this place ain't ready to move in. So they told me I'm moving into this unit today. He's like, okay, what I'll at least do is I'll get this exterior wall framed, right? It won't be done, but it'll be framed and it'll have like, some boarding on the other side. So you guys can at least not have the outside and the inside and all the flies and everything coming in. I'm like, that's cool. So we walk around the place. We're like, the place looks okay. It's carpet everywhere. It's not big. Wasn't expecting it to be. But we go and pick out our rooms. And my roommate's like, hey, I want this one. Is that cool? Because the ensuite. I'm like, man, I really don't care because it's 2 bed, 2 bath, man. Like I ain't never been in a place that got 2 bed, 2 bath. So whatever. And plus, my bathroom is right in front of my door. So go down the hall, take a left is my room. Immediate right, and which is directly in front of my door, is the bathroom. So I'm like, I'm good. And I'm just happy I got my own place. I'm happy I'm in Atlanta. I'm happy I'm pursuing my dream. He's like, okay, cool. So we go out and we're like, what we gonna do? And so Greg's like, man, I'm hungry. And so I was like, all right, so we go get something to eat. And we come back and we pack up all our stuff and we put it in the units. Oh, in the unit, actually. And next day, Greg's like, let's get something real good food. Let's get like, let's go to Roscoe's, get some chicken and waffles. I'm like, oh, I heard about these chicken and waffles. Hell yeah. Spend a little more money on that. And then he's like, y'all gonna need to get some things. Like, to my knowledge, Greg never had his own place. I mean, he had like at his place, he had like his own floor, but he never had like his own apartment, right? So he seemed like ahead of the curve, giving us good information. Like, you should get some stuff. It's cool, let's go. Let's go to Target. And he's like, yeah, it's a Greenland Target? I'm like, I don't even know what that means. It's Target. That's all I know. It's got some stuff and I need it. So I spent about $500 at the Target, which was mostly like toiletries and things like that. Nah, I wasn't even thinking about a bed. I was like, I'm going to sleep on the floor. I'm just going to put a little blanket on the floor. I'm going to sleep on the floor and I'm going to cut that. And it was like, nah, you need to at least get an air mattress. You know what? You're right. I should at least sleep on an air mattress, right? Like it's an improvement from the floor. Now, I didn't know that then. I know it now. It was probably one of the best things I did, and here's why. One of the other major purchases I made was a computer desk because I'm there to work, and a nice computer chair. And I spent $100 on this chair, and it was elaborate for me then. I'm spending $100, but I was like, I need to get me a nice chair because one thing I never had in Rhode Island while I was always working at the desk was a pretty crappy desk chair. I think my mom found it on the street and like brought it in. And that was my chair. Like, it was hurting my back, but I was just so accustomed to it. And every time I tried to upgrade, she refused to say, you're not putting another chair in a place. And it's her place. So what am I going to say? So I said, I'm going to get me a nice chair. So I went out to IKEA, Sat in a few of them. This was good. Tall back. That's all I get about it. Got a tall back. I can rest my head on it. $100. So if you've been tracking, I've been spending. I only went out there with, like I said, a little over 2,000, maybe $2,100. So it wasn't long before I checked that bank account. And I remember waking up, I think it was my third week. And I looked at my bank account in the morning. I don't know why. Wasn't expecting a deposit, but I just felt like I needed to know what my balance is. And it was $7 in the account. And I'm like, oh, shit. That's when I felt like it's real. Like, this isn't just like a vacation. Like, I'm not at mom and dad's no more. And I'm not going to tell mom that I only got $7 in my account right now. And I'm not going to tell my roommate either. I'm going to have to figure something out quick. Because rent is due next week. And if you never lived in the South, and I don't even want to say the whole South, I'm just going to talk Georgia. And even then, I'm only going to talk Atlanta, Georgia, even though I know this goes out on the outskirts of that, is they give you a grace period when your rent is due. And your rent is due on the 1st. And some places let you go to the 5th. But most places don't let you go past the 3rd because after that, it's late. And if it ain't there by that period of time, you got a late fee. And then if it ain't there by the 9th, you can expect to be evicted by the 10th. And it's not a joke. Like they're out your door with the marshal, throwing your stuff out on the 10th. And I wasn't going to have my first month in Georgia with my stuff on the curb. And also I wasn't going to do that because one of the first nights as I'm watching, I had my iMac on the floor and I'm watching Netflix. And I'm just eating, right? My roommate cooked the dinner because I told him I know how to cook, but I didn't. And I had rice, beans, and some chicken. And I'm smacking it. I'm smacking this. And I'm like, oh, let me get some more of these black beans. And I looked down and I thought my bean rolled off the plate. And so I went to get it. And I was like, wait a minute. I flicked the light on. I'm like, oh, hell no, that is not a roach. I didn't care. It was like maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm banging on his door like, pop, 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 pop. Yo, what kind of place you moved me in? What you mean? I said, yo, there's roaches in here. He's like, oh, I noticed that. I thought I saw only one though. I said, nah, the one you saw is in my room now. And so either there's one that's traveling or there's more than one. But do you know the last time I lived with some roaches? And he looked at me back and he said, do you know the last time I lived with some roaches? I said, man, I haven't lived with some roaches since I was a kid, man. Like looking in the cereal box before I eat it because I might be pouring some roaches in the bowl with me. He's like, yeah, me too. So I'm like, hold up, let's go check homeboy and see if he got roaches at his spot. And so I go and I'm like, hey, yo, bro, we got roaches in our spot. You got roaches in yours? And he's like, yeah. I was like, and you didn't tell us that? This place got roaches? It's like, honestly, man, I forgot about it. I got used to it. And I also didn't want to tell y'all because then y'all probably won't come down here. And I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I probably would have not said it either. Or I probably would have low-key said it. And I was like, it's cool. He's like, but it's not that bad, though. I was like, okay. I mean, you've been here a few more months than us, so if it's not that bad, we'll make do. He lied to me. It was that bad. I know it was that bad because after we were there for some months, he came up to me. He was like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Y'all got it worse than us. And the craziest thing about all that is this man's unit was right in front of the dumpster. And he didn't even have it that bad. I don't know if the roaches were like the food is in a dumpster or what. But yeah, our unit was pretty damn bad. And I think it was probably pretty damn bad because at the time we was the only apartment that had people living in the whole building at that, but it was 4 apartments. And so the roaches probably like, man, all the food is in that unit. So they all went there. And so whatever. Oh, in a sidebar, you also want to know when roaches are bad is when people naming them. Like we had a name. It was called Fred. Like people was like, oh, I saw Fred. I'm like, yeah, Fred is ringing the damn fire alarm to the point I felt stupid and I had to call the fire department. They're like, why is my smoke detector going off? Is it carbon monoxide or something? Nah, it's just filled with roaches just igniting the damn alarm to go off. Anyway, moving on. So we're living like this at this point for some months. And no job, right? The job I was supposed to have ghosted me when I got down there, which was my blessing because I ended up applying for unemployment and they gave it to me. And because at the time I was getting fired from jobs a lot at this point in my life because it was the recession. So every time I had a job, I was at that job 2 months, right before 3 months, fired. I mean, on some like Friday joint, like getting fried on my day off. Like, well, I mean, how? I want to hear. And then how does this happen to me in more than one job, right? Anyway, so I already had like a claim that was, I guess, open from like years past. And so there's like, oh, it's going to be quick. They just like overnighted, just like turned it on and just didn't even like hesitate. It was like, you're going to get back the same amount you used to get, which was not bad. At the time, it was, I think, like $308 a week or something, right? Which my rent is $300. So like I got rent money, right? So rent is covered, not tripping. Got car bill, that's some money. I got student loans, some money. I got some food I got to get, internet, da. Then I start to realize like this unemployment money ain't enough to cover everything, but it's enough to cover the main things, right? So I'm going to do some side work. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to pay my bills. And that's what I did. And I did that for most of my first 2 years, right? But let's not get too far ahead. How's the first year going? First year is going good, right? Like you got the unemployment money, you got a place, you're paying your bills, you survived the $7 in your bank account. So you should be all right. Nah, that $7 in my bank account was pretty regular. Actually, it's pretty lavish if I had $7 in my bank account because I didn't really have money for food for a lot of it. What we would do is we mostly ate once a day. We would go to buy our groceries at Walmart and I would get a $10 bag of tilapia because you would get 40 pieces in that. And so we really ate off of tilapia, smothered in hot sauce, and some other seasonings, and then maybe some rice or something. And we did that again, like pretty much once a day. And then it got to the point like, probably tilapia is starting to feel expensive, right? So I get the tilapia and the other items, like, so we got to make some cuts. And so I'm struggling. My roommate's struggling. And then my friend is struggling. So it's 3 of us. So at least it felt like a little union of us. It wasn't as bad. But what we would do is we would say like, we hungry. So how are we going to eat? So you really start to get like creative and you're like, you know what? McDonald's got the dollar menu. And at the time, it was really $1. It was like $1.09, I think, with tax for a single item. And we were embarrassed. So we would say like, we'll go to get our food at like 1 or 2 in the morning down the street. Many times we didn't have money for the dollar menu. So what we would do is we would just look at each other and be like, how much you got in your account? How much you got in your account? And I'd be like, yo, I got 17 cents in my account. How much you got, bro? Yo, I got 39 cents in my account. All right, transfer that to me. How much you got, bro? I got $5. Damn, you got $5 in your account? Bro, we transferring it to you to spend it today, right? And we did this. We did this every day. And we did this every day for a little while. I'm like, not a day or two. We're talking weeks, maybe some months. We did it so long to the point where one day my boy was like, hey, yo, if you close your eyes and you eat like the McChicken real slow, it starts to taste like steak. I'm like, what? Your boy's cooked. Like, what you talking about? And then he's like, yo, it's crazy though. If you really do it, it really tastes like steak. Yo, I'm eating my McChicken slowly, small bites. I'm savoring this. I think it's starting to fill me up. And that's what I survived off of. my mom knew I was struggling, because every so often she would just randomly like, here's $100, get some groceries. She didn't say for anything other reasons, get some groceries. And that's when he's like, yo, we gonna get some groceries. And we had a little bond at the time, like who had it, spent it. And so if I had the $100, I got food for the squad. If you had it, you got food for the squad. But what I didn't do is I didn't want visitors. And no matter what I said, Thunder was still hitting me up. Well, I didn't think I would be seeing again, saying she wanted to come see me. And I would tell her, you can see me, but not until I at least have a bed. And she's like, I don't care. I was like, I really can't have you sleeping on the sand mattress with me, because after like my third month, I was already on my third air mattress. The first two popped. So my boy already got himself a bed. My roommate already got himself a bed. One of his first purchases was a mattress. And I was like, no, I'm not. Again, I'm here to work. I'm not getting that. I got to earn that. I got to make that money. And that's going to buy itself. And so I would use his air mattress as my third one. And he's like, yo, it's not the best. And I'm like, yo, it's better than my first two though. Like this one, I don't have to plug in to vacuum up. Like the vacuum's built in. Like that's an upgrade. And I get why he said it wasn't the best, because it would deflate throughout the night. So I would turn it on, right? Got to get some air in there. And I remember the first time I did it, my roommate said, man, I forgot you still in the air mattress. I thought you was vacuuming your room at like 2 a.m. I'm like, nah, just trying to sleep. And about 7 months went by and I was able to buy my bed. I was able to buy the mattress, the box spring, and the frame. And it was for $230. And it was a queen. And I was hyped. And so I was like, yo, Thunder, I got a mattress. And she's like, oh, I'm definitely can't wait to come stay with you. And she came and we had the bed and we had a good time, and it felt fun. It felt fun. Like as much as it was a grind, I felt like, again, like my first year, I just have to survive this. If I can survive the first year, the second year is going to be a lot easier, because I kind of went through getting some of these things that I didn't have. So I should be okay. Second year is rolling around and I'm thinking like I'm progressing slowly. Like I'm getting a little bit more freelance clients. I'm getting them more frequently, charging slightly more, not a lot, slightly more. And so I'm seeing progression, and then progression means I'm on the right track. And then I'm about to get my own apartment, but me and my roommate decide, let's give it one more year for financial reasons to stay, roommates. And he's like, man, we need to get a better spot. I was like, yeah, we need to get away from these roaches. Like, I'm tired of these roaches. Like, it's getting crazy when you cooking and you like trying to like fight off the roaches while you cooking, right? Like they're getting braver. Like they're not hiding as much anymore. Like when you flick the light on, they like, hey, how you doing? Right? So you're greeting them. And so he's like, yeah, we got to get another spot. And so he's like, yo, the apartment complex next door is banging. I went over there. I actually looked at it. We should move in. I couldn't afford it alone, but I think we can afford it together. And I was like, all right, how much is the rent? He says, it's $1,300 a month. And I'm like, oh, now I'm doubling my rent. I'm going from 300 to 6 something. He's like, yeah, man, but it's like double the square footage. It's brand new, bro. It's like it's only been built for a year. So this is the second year. And I'm like, all right, when you're trying to go? Because our lease is up in February and we're about to hit January. He's like, yeah, we'll wait till February. It's like, all right, cool. And second week of January comes and he's like, bro, let's just go. I was like, yeah, let's just go. And so I left. And we left and we're thinking like nothing of it. We're thinking that, we're not behind on our rent. I don't know how things work. I'm thinking like, the lease is over on February. So I don't need to tell them, right? Like we honored the lease because we paid the January. We don't have to pay the February because we're out in February. I was wrong. apparently got to give a 60-day notice. And so I got hit with some fees. I think they were using my gas because I got hit with a gas bill. I was like, there wasn't nobody there using gas, right? But whatever. And so now I got to pay that in addition to these first few months of rent. But I'm not tripping because we got a nice place, right? I'm affording it. Like I'm actually making payments, and I'm always making them by the grace of God on the very last minute sometimes, whether someone let me borrow some money or Thunder was kind enough to pay my car bill 1 month so I can use that instead of having to pay that and rent. I was able to just pay the rent. And she was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, no, I'm paying you back. Like my morals are like, I have to pay you back. And she's like, hey, I wanted to know, like, can I come stay with you for the summer? I was like, no, I can't afford it. She's like, no, don't worry about it. I take care of it. I take care of myself. I just want to be with you. And I was like, okay. Now, we're still not dating yet, right? But I'm like, how your mom gonna take this? And she's like, oh, I'll figure that out. It's like, okay. And this is her mom about to learn that, yeah, she was down there for the summer, but she wasn't, staying or interning or whatever she said to you. She was living with me for the summer. I'm able to afford her addition as well. So I'm like, I am doing better. I'm really doing better. Like, my mom should be able to worry a little bit less. Like I've been here at this point a year and a half. After Thunder left, I realized now that really her staying was just the calm before the storm, because this is where my life really, 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 really hit the fan. Like it just, whatever I went through up until this point was nothing, because right before Thunder left, like the week or two before she left, just randomly having mold on my clothes and on my shoes, and it's just covered in mold. And messaging people, hey, you gotta cut us a discount on the rent. And I think they said they'd give us like a $50 discount or something stupid. And I was like, okay, we'll take it. And then out of nowhere, like our electricity is like not working. Like it's just like, it's finicky, right? Like it's just like lights is like flickering. And it's like, what? It's like, we don't got strobe lights. What's going on, right? We're in this nice place, 1,300, right? Shouldn't have any problems. Kind of find out they're like, we got to take you out the unit. It's like, why you got to take us out the unit? It's like, it's kind of dangerous to be living in the unit right now. I was like, what you mean it's dangerous? It's like, yeah, your electric is just high voltage. So like your place can catch on fire. Like, you guys got to get out. I was like, well, where I'm going to go? It's like, I'm like, no, you taking me out. It's your issue. It ain't my issue. Where we going to go? And they go, we're going to put you in the model. They're going to put us in a model apartment? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we go upstairs and the model's nice. And we front and we acting like we really like this is our spot because we're so comfortable. And we're like, yo, take your time fixing my apartment. Please take your time. And it's like about a week. And then like, you got to go back. And they're like, cool. And then like, I think it's like maybe shortly after Thunder's gone. I don't remember the exact time. And if I say the exact time, she's going to correct me saying I'm wrong anyway. So I remember she's gone. And I'm like, everything should be good now. Well, electric bill, for some reason, every month after that is double than the month before. When I call electric company and I explain to them this issue, it's not their problem, right? They're like, I'm just reporting the usage. So I'm like, that's crazy. Like how my bill is getting double every month, like literally month after month after month. I can't continue like this. And then by the grace of God, I had my resume fixed. I started getting calls from jobs, corporate jobs, and I get one. And I remember saying, I wanted this salary, and they actually gave me $10,000 more than that. So now I'm like calling home, like, Ma, your boy is okay. Your boy can buy food without having to count the groceries that he's adding into the cart as he's adding them. I can get food for like more regularly. I get myself some like work clothes. I get myself a turtleneck, don't know why. And I'm happy. And I tell Thunder's happy. And so I'm like, man, I think if you want, like, you could come live down here and I can afford it. And I can afford us to like be together. And she's like, cool. Now, before she left, there was this night. And I have to backtrack to this because this night sets kind of the stage for my life kind of going forward. Before she left, we was in our room and I was working on the client's project, editing a music video. And I heard my roommate come home and it was his birthday. And I haven't seen my roommate for like a few weeks at this time because we're just on different schedules. And I was like, oh, is that him? And she's like, I think so. He's singing. Oh, let's go in the kitchen. Let's see him. Like, yo, what you, and it's midnight. I'm like, yo, what you doing? He's like, yo, tap the bottle. It means, oh, we about to drink. Tap the top, you tap the bottom. And he's like, yo, you're going to have a shot. Now, I hate shots. I'm like, okay. And I also can't hold my liquor. So I'm the type of dude, especially at that time, where I take a shot, I want to vomit the shot. So I have to swallow everything down. Oxygen, everything's coming down. It's not graceful and it's not enjoyment. So Donna's like, oh, we gonna take these bitch shots? He's like, oh yeah? He's like, pour me a real shot. He's like, I'm gonna pour you a real shot. And he pull out the red cup, the red silo cup. What you gonna do? He's like, I'm gonna pour her a shot. She's like, don't pour me no bitch shot. So he pour a little, bop, 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 bop. She's like, that's it? Bop, 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 bop. That's it? He's like, I'm going to pour it and you tell me when to stop. She's like, all right, I'm going to tell you when to stop. He's pouring tequila. Bop, 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 bop. Hey, yo, chill. Bop, bop. She's like, yeah, I ain't even going to tell you to stop. It's going to go to the top. I'm like, what? Bop, bop. Now it's like, at this point, it's halfway full. I'm like, yo, chill. She done. He's like, nah, she a big girl. Bop, bop, bop. Yo, it hits like 3/4 where I'm like, yo, she's done. I tipped the bottle. Like, ah. And he's like, yo, that's a shot. She's like, I'm going to take the shot. He's like, no. When I mean it's a shot, I mean it's a shot. Like, you got to take it in one swig. She's like, no problem. I told you I swallowed my shot with vomit and oxygen. So my chest is hurting. My throat is still like remembering about this shot. So I'm like, you don't got to take it in one go. Right? I'm like trying to be like the older dude. Like, you don't got to take it. Don't let him bully you. She's like, nah, I'm going to take it in one go. I was like, you really about to take that? Nah. And she's like, yeah. So she pick it up. She take it to the face. I'm like, amazed, right? Like on some door joints. Just put it down like another. And he's like, I'm going to pull another one. I was over here like DJ Khaled didn't say another one. Like, not over here. So why are we pouring another one? So he pouring it. And it's like, again, it's about like a half, not half, I think a quarter of the way there. She's like, look, and I'm like, no. And so, boom, she take that too. And he's like, I'm going to let that settle. But when we come back, we'll have another shot. And he's like, yo, that's for you too, Jay. And I'm like, damn, my night's about to be fucked up because Donna just had a shitload of liquor. I don't know why we end up outside. Now we outside. We outside Palmer Complex and we racing. You're drinking in the activity, you sweating. It's worse. But Donna's acting fine. So at this point, I'm like, yo, her tolerance is better than mine. This is embarrassing. Next thing you know, we outside the apartment complex. We outside the gate. Now, I've been in this neighborhood about 2 years now. There's a street. I ain't never went down that street. Honestly, to this day, I don't know what's down that street. I know there was looking like there was a complex down there and it looked like it was burned down, but it looked like also people lived over there. So I just don't know if it was one building or not. But I just knew I ain't going down that street. I don't know what's down that street. I don't need to know what's down that street. And that street's dark. So he starts going down. He starts walking. My roommate is crazy. He starts walking down that street. I ain't going. I ain't going at all. Donna, barefoot and all, bolts after him. And he's like, and he like look at him, he's like, hey, there's a whole bunch of like gravel and like broken rocks. And she running on this barefoot and she going, don't worry, I'm Cape Verdean. What the hell does that mean? Like, I know your feet rough and all, but what, they just like have you like getting your pedicures done? What, like rocks? I see you running. Do, 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 do. And the next thing you know, poof, she get into the darkness. And I said, well, the darkness have her now. So I turn around. Now, there was someone with us who we happened to know, who happened to move down into that apartment complex that we knew from back home. And so she was with us. And she's like, you can't just leave her out there. And I'm like, the hell I can't. You did not just see the darkness has her now. That I'm not going in there. I'm turning around. She's like, you're not going to go back to your apartment. I'm like, yes, the hell I am. She's like, you can't. I'm like, the darkness has her now. I'm not going back. This night is not going to go well for me. I'm off. She can figure it out. She a big girl. She taking shots bigger than me. She can figure it out. So I turn around and I start walking back to my apartment. As I start doing that, I start hearing some voices. And it's my roommate and Thunder walking back. And he's got his arm around her and they like chit-chatting like they just came from a nice stroll. In my head, I said, oh, the darkness gave her back. And he's like, all right, yo, I'm going to head back to the room. And I'm like, cool. At least I think that's what he said. Because I know he just wasn't with us for this point in time. So I'm holding Thunder and I'm like, hey, yo, we're going to go back to the room. I'm probably going to work on what I was working on, or maybe we can watch a movie. And she's like, yeah, and she's good. Like, she's good. I'm so surprised. Like, she don't even look like she drank anything. I think her body had to remind her, because as soon as they was not near us, we start taking a couple steps. First step, sober. Second step, tipsy. Third step, blackout drunk. I'm talking about like, I had to like put my arm around her and like pull her up. Like, holy, she about to tip over. Now in my head, I'm like, somebody's watching me. That's what I'm thinking, right? Somebody's in this apartment building watching us. There's like 100 apartments in this place. And so only way to get in is I got to punch the code into the gate to unlock the gate to walk us in. As I stop punching in the code, Thunder's head just goes from back, like headbutts the damn gate thing. Bam! And I'm like, oh shit. I think she just headbutted the corner of it. She pop up. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, yo, you bleeding. She's like, just let it bleed, babe. Just let it bleed. I'm like, hell no, I ain't gonna let this just bleed. Just somebody don't think I did this to you. So I'm like, I gotta get you in this apartment like as soon as possible. I go. I couldn't carry her, right? I know I couldn't carry her. So we get in and she just like lays on the ground. And I'm like, I can't pick this chick up. I know I can't pick this chick up. So I like pick her arms up and I'm like about to like military drag this girl out the war. So, and this is concrete. So I do like one drag. She don't even make a noise. She's like, second drag. And I'm like, this is going to take all day. And I'm getting tired. By the time I get into my apartment, she's going to be all scratched up and it's going to be even worse. So I'm going to leave you right here. And so I run to my apartment. I grab the keys for my Chevy Impala. And I'm like, let's just drive back. I'll figure out a way to get her into the back seat. I'll drive to my apartment building. And then from there, I don't know if I'm going to just roll her down the stairs or what, but I got to get her down there. So I run to get the car. I come back. I pull up. She's still laying on the ground, like stretched out. All right. As if somebody like outlined her in chalk. And I see my roommate and he's like, yo, you just left her here? I'm like, yo, bro, I didn't just leave her. Like, I went to get the car. And he's like, nah, man, you got to take her back. And he's like, you got to carry her. I'm like, nah, I can't carry her. I can't lift her. And he's like, I got you. This dude on some like Saving Private Ryan with the missiles exploding type of joint, just pick her up and just start carrying her. Now at this point, I'm like, oh, I'm wise to it. So I'm like, yo, I'm directing traffic. Like, yo, put her in the back seat. He's like, nah, I'm just going to carry her back. So I'm like, you go, what? Okay. Sure, taking my car, boom. I just rush it back to the apartment complex. So now this, like I'm directing a plane to land. And I'm like, yo, come this way. Yo, come that way. Yada, yada, yada. Hey. And I see he's just carrying her, like just carrying her, like, you know, I'm like, just carrying her. And so she's over here like, whoa. I'm just like, some better you than me. I can't lift her. So he gets to the stairs part. I'm like, how's he going to carry her down the stairs? So I'm like, yo, let me help you. He's like, nah, I got it. It's like awkward. Like, you know, she might fall. He's like, just open the door. Like, cool. As we coming down the stairs, Thunder want to look at him and say, oh, this is embarrassing. My own boyfriend can't carry me. Right? I know I can't carry you. So I get inside the apartment and I'm like, yo, put her on the bed. Yo, put her on the bed. Because just like my last place, my bathroom is right across the hall from my bedroom. So he comes in and I'm like in the middle of the two. And I'm like, yo, take the right, put her on the bed. He's like, nah, she needs to take a shower and wash this off, and takes a left. And I'm like, no, wrong direction. Take a right. Nope. Takes her to the bathroom. Drops her in the tub. Now I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this tub. But he's like, yo, you need a bather. She needs a shower to sober up. All right, fine. I mean, I guess I'm the only one sober, so sure. So I turn the tub on. And she's like fully clothed, just soaking in the tub. And she's just like not even acting. She's like, oh, babe, I love you. And so I grabbed my shower head and I start like showering her. And then I like went to like turn the tap up and I must have grazed the face with the shower. She goes, babe, something's wet in me. What you mean something wet? You sitting in the tub like you like submerged. So I'm like, what? So I take the shower head. Sprinkle on her face again. So, babe. Something went in me again. I'm like, when? It's like, just now. I'm like, yeah. See? You don't see it? I feel it. I'm like, man, let me get undressed. Let me shower you, right? So I shower and I'm hoping she's going to sober up. No. Shower, run in my room, grab some towels, grab some clothes, and I just dead body plop her out of the tub onto the freaking tiles. And I'm drying her. Using my nurse assistant skills. Drying her all up, right? Not even doing it like gently. I'm like annoyed by this whole situation. I told you how I dragged her on the concrete. Well, the way inside, so this ain't as bad. So I started dragging her ass in the... Okay, I need a break. Drag her again. Then I get to the door. I plop the door open. I'm thinking they're in, like in their room or something. Nah, they're in the living room because we got furniture now. So they're on the couch watching TV. And all you see is me just pulling her from one door to the other, just across the hall. He's like, you ain't gonna pick her up? I'm like, nope. I'll pick her up when I get in the room. He's like, okay. So, I get her in my room. I shut the door. Now I look at her and I'm like, I'm about to start stretching a little bit because I'm about to lift this chick up, right? Okay. Yeah. Me stretching. All right. All right. How am I going to put my arm around on her leg? I'm going to put her around her arm and I'm just going to lift and throw my back out and just plop her on the bed and then I'll just sleep and wake up in pain tomorrow. Sounds like a plan. As soon as I go to lift her, she's like, I can get myself up. What? She's like, I can do it. I'm like, show me then. She had the nerve to jump up on her feet so fast, like she was Shawn Michaels doing a kickflip onto her feet, right? She just, boom. look me dead in the face like, I told you ain't shit, look. And then dive onto my bed like a dolphin out of water. Hit the bed and start rolling back. I was like, oh, hell no, you ain't. Start rolling back on the other side like a burrito. Like, you got to get on that side. And I'm like, you know what? Just luckily my bed was against the wall, so she couldn't roll over the other edge. And I lay on that side of the bed and I'm all pissed. And she's like, oh, baby, I love you. Give me a kiss. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not kissing your ass. Drunk as hell ruined my night. Started off great, went terrible. Living in Georgia, starting terrible, starting to get great. Right? But as I told y'all, I was just the calm before the storm. So once done left, I got that corporate job. I'm doing good. 3 weeks later, that corporate job fired my ass. Back in the fire train. Job number 16 or whatever it was, done had fired me. Because they hired me. They needed a more senior person for the role, and I wasn't senior enough. Couldn't blame them. But they didn't know what they wanted, and I didn't know how to deliver it. But I'm up and up. Yo, jobs are calling me. I got my resume good now. I got this job in like a week. Gave me 10 grand more than I wanted. Call up down there like, bleep, bleep. Yo, don't worry about it. I'm going to find myself something. She's like, wow, I'm so happy you're so upbeat about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Nope, I wasn't upbeat about it because those recruiters started talking to me like, why are you back on the job market so quick? I talked to you 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't a fit. And they're like, that's a little weird. What wasn't a fit? Right? So now I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be saying that. So I'm like, I can't tell these other job recruiters. And so I got to figure something out. And so hope went into doubt, went into fear, transitioned to anger, and then finally left me at defeat. And I'm like, I can't go through another year like this. I can't go through another year of like McDoubles because I don't have that option with a roommate no more. My roommate done told me that night that we were drinking that he bought a house. And he trying to move in his house. And I have to convince him now, like, you like, I didn't even know you were buying a house. So like, you done bought it. Congratulations. But like, we got a lease till February and I can't cover $1,300. I'm struggling to cover $600. You're going to have to honor that. And he's like, well, it probably ain't the worst thing for me to stay a few more months. I don't know if I stay till February, but I can stay a few more months because my place ain't ready anyway. I got to fix up a few things. So it'd probably be best I fix it up while I'm not living there. Like, cool, everything's going to work out. But I only have so much months because it's, it's after summer. My lease is up in February. So I got less than 6 months now. So I got to really figure things out quick. And my roommate, financial situation starts to take a dive because he got the house. And so, he can't balance the two. And I was real lucky to be able to pay the rent for both of us 1 month. But I knew I couldn't do it the second month. So the second month come. And I'm like, yo, I got my rent. Do you got your rent? He's like, yeah, I got it. It's cool. Rent day comes. He's like, I ain't got the rent. I'm like, yo, what happened? He's like, yo, so-and-so situation. I ain't got it. But don't worry. I talked to the apartment complex. Homeboy said he going to let us slide. And he going to let us stay for the month. But we got to make sure we pay both months rent next month. And I'm baffled. I'm like, really? They ain't gonna evict us every month. I'm seeing people evicted on the 10th and the 11th. He's like, nah. He said he got us. I'm like, all right, cool. We getting a late fee? He's like, yeah, we're gonna have to pay the $100 late fee. I'm like, all right, no bad. No, it's whatever. So second month come. Like, yo, you got the rent? He's like, yeah, I got the rent. Cool. Didn't have the rent. Some other reason, right? Didn't have the rent. I'm like, all right. Well, I managed to scrap up some dough. And so I go up to the apartment complex and I'm like, look, I don't got 2 full months rent, but I got like 80% of the total. So like, let me give you all the months rent last month. And then let me give you the, remainder of this month that I got, which is still more than my portion, but just not the full 1,300. I think I had like 1,000 out of the 13. And he's like, nah, man, you already a month behind. I want it all or nothing. And I'm like, yo, I mean, I'm trying to work with him. He's like, nah. And I'm like, yo, I thought you worked there with my roommate. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like, what? I'm not saying my roommate lying. I just think that dude was just being a douche because we didn't pay that second month's rent. 10th came around. We didn't get evicted. But at this time, I'm like, I'm not rolling the dice again. Third month's rent, probably ain't gonna be here. I gotta find a spot. So I'm looking. As I'm looking, I look on Craigslist for some jobs too. And I find a job and go to interview, small business, great people. And they gave me a take-home assignment. And I'm like, all right, that sounds easy enough. And because I'm so like trying to figure out what everything's going on, I went interviewed with them Monday. They wanted me to submit it by Thursday morning. Tuesday, I didn't do anything. Wednesday morning, I haven't done anything for it to take home. And Thunder's like, yo, when you going to do it? I'm like, yo, it's easy. Trust me, I got this. What they want me to do, I can do. I can do it easy. So I do it. I submit it Wednesday, confident they're going to call me Thursday to get me the job. By the grace of God, they called me and they said they gave me the job. But I had to wait, I think, like a week before I start or whatever. But the job's an hour away. And I'm like, okay, luckily, my Chevy still kind of knew a model at the time from when I had originally bought it. So still was low on the miles. And I was like, okay, cool. I going up to the job and I'm letting them know, like, I'm about to be evicted, probably coming up soon. And they're like, okay, don't worry about it. If it happens, just go and come back. We understand. And I'm explaining my situation to them. And they're like, no, I get it. We know what we pay you. We know you should be able to afford that, so on and so forth. But in case you get evicted, you can stay here in the warehouse. I'm like, what you mean? It was like, yeah, we'll give you a cot. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to stay here. Because how are you going to call out of work when you live there? Right? Like, no. So like, nah, don't worry about the cot. I appreciate it, but I'll find something. So I started going to apartment complexes and I started applying. As I told y'all, I got application fees, administration fees, all these fees, but they're non-refundable. I go to one, they're like, nope, you're about to get evicted one spot. No. Go to second spot. No. Third spot. No. So at this point, I'm out like $500 and I ain't going nowhere. And I'm like, yo, what am I going to do? I mean, I got the job. Because if I didn't get the job, I already had called my mom saying, if I don't get a job by the end of the year, I'm moving back home. But I can't move back home because I got a job now. I got nowhere to stay. And no one going to take me because of this eviction. And the only way you're going to take me is if I pay off the balance on the eviction. But I don't have the money for that, to pay that off now, because I might have 3 months rent to cover up. And I can't do that. And so no matter what, I still got to get out this place because I'm not going to be paying $1,300 a month anyway. So no matter what, I got to find a place to go. I say to myself, nah, I control my fate. I'm going to do this on my terms. I'm going to live in my car if I got to. And so I stopped packing up my stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to pack up my stuff because it's going to go in my car. I'm going to live in my car. It is what it is. It's fine. It's probably a great thing I did that because I go to work Monday morning. At 9 a.m., 10 a.m., I get a phone call and it's a new number and it's a Georgia number. And I'm like, don't tell me. And I'm like, hello? It's like, hi, is Jonathan? I'm like, yeah, it is. He's like, yeah, it's the marshal. I'm at your place right now throwing everything on the curb. And I'm like, no way. I'm getting evicted. I was like, hey, man, I know I was going to get evicted, but I was trying to get out before you guys got in. He's like, I see that. It looked like one of y'all was at least packing. I said, yeah, that's me. He's like, when can you get here? I said, I can get there, but I can't get there no less than an hour, maybe an hour and a half, because my job alone is 50 minutes without traffic, and it's Atlanta. So I don't know what the traffic's like. He's like, okay, I'm going to do you a favor. Because you live far away and you look like you got some valuable stuff. He's talking about my iMac camera equipment. I don't want to just leave it on the curb and it gets stolen. I'm not responsible for it. But because you started packing, I'm going to come back at 12 o'clock. But whether you out or not, I'm back here at 12 and all your stuff is going to be on the curb. I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And so I rush back and I get there and I guess my roommate also got the call. He's like, yo, tomorrow. I was like, yeah, I know. And he's also like an hour away. And so we both get there. but I'm at least halfway packed. And so I start throwing what was packed in the car. And then I start grabbing all the other stuff. And as I'm doing that, the marshal's like, don't grab the equipment. He's like, you grab your equipment, but it's got to get out. I was like, okay. So I take it out and I put it in the car. And at the same time, I'm still at my job, right? Like, and so I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, are they about to fire me because of this? Because I only been there like maybe a month. And they have a deadline that they want me done today with. And I need to be at the spot. I need to drive back to do that work. So they're calling me like, when you going to be back? When you going to be back? And I'm like, I'm going to be back. Promise by the end of the day. I promise I'll be back by that day. I'll be back there by 4 o'clock. So it means I got to be done here by 3 o'clock, which is now it's 12 o'clock. And there's a gang of guys just throwing stuff in garbage bags, putting it outside. And I'm over here just grabbing my stuff, trying to put it in the car. And I realized real quick that I got a little more stuff than I came down here with now. And it's all in the car. My car's about full. And I don't got time to organize it. And so I started looking at my stuff. And I started really rationalizing. Okay, what do I not mind getting stolen? What do I not mind getting thrown in the trash? Because I'm going to have to leave and figure out where I'm going to put my stuff. And I also need to figure out how I'm going to get it. And I also need to figure out how I'm going to pay for where it goes and how it's going to get there. And then where am I going to stay? And I need to figure that out today during this whole situation. And there's no option of going back in the apartment trying to sneak in because they changed the lock and they changed the lock right in front of you. Not to change the key, like they changed the lock. And you're out. Just sitting in the curb in front of this apartment complex while people just walking around me, right? And I'm like, I'm really evicted. I've never gone through something like this. And I'm 1,100 miles away from home. It's a 17 straight hour drive. No one's coming to help me today. And I don't really have family here. Those people were good people, my bosses and my coworkers, because my coworker was like, bro, you can put your stuff in my garage. And I was like, how much do you want for it? He's like, nothing. I know what it's like. You go keep it in the garage. I don't use the garage. If anything, you give me an excuse to clean it up. All right, thank you. But I'm not going to take up too much of your space. And I don't know how long it's going to be in there. It might be in there for some months. He's like, it can be in there as long as you want. I know where you work. I know you can, pay some bills. I'm like, okay, thank you. Job was like, don't worry about renting a U-Haul. We got a work van. You can use that. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, and also whatever you do want to keep that you don't want to bring to his house, you're allowed to put it in the warehouse. Put it in a small section though, so it's not in the way of everything. But we'll be respectful. We won't let anyone go next to it. And I'm like, all right. Now, oddly that I didn't want to live there, but a lot of my stuff was there. So many times on the work day, I would go to my boxes and grab something that I needed that was mine, whether it was an outfit or something. They're like, where you going to stay tonight? I'm like, oh, that person that we know from back home lives in an apartment complex, like a building over. So we're just going to stay at that spot for tonight for sure. And I need to figure it out because this is Friday. I need to figure out where I'm going. And then I started like just sitting on the reclining couch and our stuff, mine and his stuff, is just everywhere in the place. Like it's like little maze of pathways. And because we was allowed to put things in there for the night, at least, because I had to get the work van and all that. And that wasn't going to happen until Monday. Like I got at least a little money for the weekend for food, fast food. Just go zone out and just look for a spot. So I'm like Googling. And then I find out about extended stays. And I find out you can stay in extended stay for a week or for a month. And so I start looking at rates. And I'm like, oh, what are the weekly rates? And Atlanta's rates were, more expensive than other spots. But my job is outside of Atlanta. My job is an hour away. It's in the outskirts. And so I'm like, it would be better if I find a place near there. But I wonder if they have any near there. And there was a location for this franchise that was 20 minutes from my job. So I'm like, wow, it's shorter commute, no traffic. What's it cost? Wow. It's actually the cheapest place out of all of them. This is great. But I can't go there until Tuesday because I believe Monday was a holiday. So I go and I get the van Monday. I pack up all my stuff. I spend the day just after work, just to the wee hours of the night, just bringing it everywhere. And Tuesday, I go up to the place and I walk in and I'm like, I want a room. And they're like, okay. And I'm expecting this place to be just run down by crackheads and all types of shit. But I'm like, whatever, I'll just stay in my rooms, peace of mind. Because at this point, I'm just kind of numb to it, right? Like emotionally, I'm in like a limbo, right? Like my peace is disoriented. My spirit's worn out. My clarity is all numb. And then like inside, I'm like aching, just quietly. But I don't want no one to see it. So I'm still upbeat at work. But I'm stressed out. My coworker's loving hearing the story. Because he's like, your life is wild, bro. Like you just met me, right? And then he's like, wow, you're living in an extended stay. And then I'm over here like, yo, the extended stay is actually great. Like, and he's like, what's so great? I'm like, bro, they clean my room on Tuesdays. I got the heat equipped, right? Got like all utilities part of the package. If you pay for 5 weeks up front, you get, the 5th week free. And I can leave anytime I want. It's actually what I should have did when I moved to Atlanta. I'm staying at this place and I'm gonna stay. This is my home. My mail is getting sent there now. And I'm going week after week because I don't want to like commit too much. So I did 1 month, I paid the 1 month, but week after week I'm paying. And at one point I went up to the lady and I realized school buses are being dropped off at the place. So I'm like, oh, am I your longest tenured tenant here? She's like, well, how long you been here? And at this point, I'm there for about 4 months. She's like, oh, you're not even close. We have someone who's been here for 7 years. We actually have apartments. You got apartments? She's like, yeah, we got apartments you can rent. Couch, everything, living room and all that. Not just a studio bedroom like you have. So I'm like, okay, so I'm talking to Dunda. Dunda wants to come live with me. And I'm like, Dunda, I can't, I don't have money to get an apartment right now. Like, like I'm just getting my spirit back. And she's like, I don't care. I just want to be with you. And I'm like, okay. Well, when you graduate college, within 6 months, maybe you could come down here. She's like, no, I'm going to come down there as soon as I finish college. She's like, there's no point to wait. Don't make sense. Originally, that wasn't an idea, but she came into that idea after. And I was like, okay. And so she moves down and I'm like, all right, we're going to live in this motel for a few months. I'll save up some money. We'll get a nice apartment. I want you to pick the place. I can afford the rent. I just can't save up for the, extra parts of that. Like I told y'all, administration fees, all these. And so, but I want you to pick a place that's in this price range. And if you like it, we'll move in. I don't really care because I just came from roaches. I just been evicted. I just been this. I just been that. I've been like my 2 years here have not been great. Like I've been, once a day and all this stuff. And so not driving my car for weeks because not to waste gas, like all these things. And she's like, no, don't worry about it. As long as I'm with you, I'm happy. All right. Now she's visited me before, but I don't think it was a big deal because she didn't really bring much besides like a luggage. This time she's bringing some luggage and some stuff. So we moved into the motel. Well, she moved in with me. We had like one fight. And she was like, she had nowhere to go and she didn't like that. So we make up that day. And she looks at me and she's like, we're getting an apartment. This is day 3. I'm like, yeah. At like the end of the summer, maybe, or in a few months. She's like, no, tomorrow. I got some money for a deposit, but I don't got money for rent. I'm like, you got money for deposit? She's like, yeah. I'm like, my credit's not bad. It's not good either, though. She's like, don't worry about it. I found a spot. She shows me the spot. It's actually a nice spot. And it's roach free. And it's like 5 minutes from my job. So even closer. So I'm like, oh my God, awesome. So we go and we move in. And from there, my life started to progress to the point where it is now, where it's kind of blessed, right? I got 4 kids, got my wife, got my home, got my career, been in my job field ever since that first job. The people were great. It was a great learning experience for me. But I still say the motel was probably the best thing that happened to me. It took the worst thing to happen for me to slowly get to the best thing. And it brought on a belief for me. And the belief is that how bad do you really want something? If you really, really, really want it, you're going to be tested. And then you're going to be tested again. And you're going to be tested again. And you're going to get tested to the point where you're at the brink of quitting, like I was. And that is your breaking point. And that's when you're going to be judged. If you really want it, you get past it. And that's going to prove that you actually are willing to do whatever to get it. So you're going to get it because you deserve it. Not all happy stories, right? But I believe that's what it takes. And it takes you getting to the point where you need to quit. You have every right to quit. You deserve to quit. You should quit. No one's going to judge you for quitting. But if you don't, you'll get your blessing. Hey, y'all, man. Thank y'all for listening to me. This was a long one. My name is Jonathan. Until next time with Dad.